Understanding how our mind works and how we can accomplish balanced well being should be everyone's priority. Instead of allowing ourselves to reach a place in our minds and life that creates chaos and doesn't allow us to properly engage in life and engage with others, we need to look at our mental health as a form of daily maintenance. I know for myself, if it weren't for the daily maintenance and things that I do to try to keep myself sane, balanced, and happy, I would either not be here on this planet or I would really have a hard time dealing with life. Although I appear many times to be well put together, it has been in the making for many years because of my upbringing, because of the situations that I've had to deal with life. My mental state has always been pretty fragile. I believe that once I got rid of my female reproductive organs, then I no longer had estrogens flowing through my body, I became more at peace and didn't have the issues that I had while I had monthly menses and just the fluctuation of estrogen, progesterone, and all the things that women are plagued with. And I will say plagued because in my opinion, it was never a good moment for me. I never had a well balanced time when I was on my menses. I was very emotional, was very combative, had all sorts of issues, and it was not memorable for me because of the fact that my mother was given medication to prevent miscarriage. I had a lot of issues, and emotional issues are one of those issues because of the fluctuation of the time of month. I never really had a normal cycle. Sometimes I would go as long as 4 or 5 months without having a cycle, and then when I did have it, it was like the worst thing in the world. I had problems wanting to leave the house. I had a lot of anxiety dealing with people. Um, Making up my mind as to what I was going to wear. It was always a hassle. I mean, as far as I could recollect, because I know that I've removed a lot of memories from my memory bank just for my own sanity and protection. I tend to do that. I've learned to develop a switch for emotions. I turn it off, I turn it on, and most of the time it's off because feeling hurts too much. So I learn not to feel. And then my neutral state is to run away. Just to, okay, I'm gone. I'm like, I was very suicidal throughout my life. Everything was okay, well, it's not worth it anymore, so I'm out of here. So I had to learn to stop that, because it's not productive, to say the least. And I would try to redirect my thoughts in whichever way possible. I would engage in activities to keep my mind occupied and replace the negative thoughts with positive ones. It takes work. I've never been much of a popping pill type of person. I don't believe in, me personally, I don't believe in medication, unless it's an absolute, emergency type of thing, life or death. I find that eating healthy, working out, having a said routine keeps me sane, keeps me aligned, keeps me out of trouble. Um, and please don't think that I'm telling any of you what to do. I don't want anyone to say, that I'm prescribing, that I'm saying whatever, because I am absolutely not. This is about me, my sharing a little bit about how I tried to balance out my mental state, and what I do to keep that in check. I think my number one, you know, tools in the toolbox is eating healthy. If a person does not eat healthy, um, the mind will not function the way that it should, because food is medicine. I mean, let that food be thy medicine is one of the main quotes that they use, and it's very true. If you think you could get away with eating junk and your mental state not being affected, you are really in denial. I mean, it's food affects everything in your body, not just your mental state. It also affects your physical state. Everything that you put in your body will affect how your body functions. And obviously, your thinking, your mental state is affected greatly by the foods you put in there. So if you think you can get away with eating junk food, eating a lot of sodium, a lot of oils, processed stuff, and you think that you're going to be okay, you're not. It'll eventually catch up with you and will create all sorts of problems. Now, what is healthy? Because people tend to believe that food and packages that have labels as in this free or that free or no this or no that, and they believe what the food manufacturer tells you, you're in for a big surprise. Whole foods is what's healthy. Foods that your body will recognize. Foods that the brain cells will accept freely without creating conflicts. Like packaged foods loaded with sodium and hidden ingredients and just stuff that ain't real, it's man-made, is not good for you. You can look pretty in a package. It could be inviting because of the words that they put on there, but the bottom line is it's not. And on the occasion, you could treat yourself, because we human beings like to feel that we deserve certain things for doing certain things, and that's how we get ourselves into trouble. The deserving attitude. Well, I work really hard, so I'm entitled to this, that, and the other, and that doesn't work that way. Your body will let you know eventually. Overweightness is a disease. It's the body building up with toxins, and if you are a transgender individual that are on hormones, you are more exposed to dangers, because you're already putting in an artificial ingredient in your body that will make you gain weight, that will lead you to have diabetes, heart problems, cancer, and you name it. So you've got to be tenfolds preoccupied with what you're putting in your body, what you're putting in your mind, what you're allowing in through your eyes and your ears, because that will affect you greatly. And some people more than others, depending on your sensitivity levels. There are people out there on the internet that are extremely toxic, and they're out there to harm people. And I'm going to say shame on you for doing so. And I will also say that you or your comments will not be allowed on this channel. I not only have to take care of myself now, but I have to take care of my wife. My wife is very sensitive. She doesn't do well with comments and things, and what people say to her, and what people do to her and stuff like that. So it's my job to protect her. So in saying that, if you put a comment here that's toxic, your comment will be removed, and you will be blocked from ever commenting on this channel ever again. Okay, so just heads up. And frankly, we don't need your stupid predictions, quote unquote, or your curses, or all that stuff that you all feel so freely to believe that you can do on this channel. Well, you cannot. So not only is food, but also, how you or what you allow in your life, and I've got a pretty big tolerance for all that. I'm used to it. Like I said, I have a switch. I just turn it off and I don't feel, so your comments don't really affect me. But, I'm not by myself. I have a spouse, and, I will protect her mental state at all costs. So just be warned. Anyway, time. Okay. So be mindful of what you allow in your environment. Food, drink, the people around you, the situations around you. Don't overdo things. Some people like to work excess hours. Some people like to, excess, and that's the way the mind functions. Well, learn that more is not better. That the less clutter you have in your mind and in your house and in your surrounding, the better off you will be. If things feel heavy, remove them, because they will catch up with you. I promise you, your mental health will become even more affected. Keep it light, keep it simple. Simplify your life. That is the greatest advice I could give you. I know that works for me. If I have clutter, if I have excess, if I have whatever, I just can't handle it. I will go into some form of self-destructive mode that is not good for me. So I protect me. It's important that you learn how to protect yourself. Instead of destroying yourself, learn to protect yourself. All right, guys, that's all I got for this morning. Do you want to say hello, sweetness?
No, I can keep it.
Yeah, okay.
For you.
Okay, so anyway. All right, guys, love you. Remember to subscribe, hit that notification button, support the channel, either become a Patreon or just, do the donation stuff through PayPal and all that stuff.
I guess I should say something. I try not to. I was listening to what you were saying and stuff, and this particular person that we recently blocked was and has been a real Achilles heel towards me. Has always been very negative towards me, and it goes back a long way. It's no wonder they're named zombie, because they just have no heart, they have no feeling. And I just think that overall my lesson with YouTube over the years has always been one where I have really come to understand that it's more toxic than helpful. And we're here. Sometimes I wonder why we're even here. And I think one of the biggest reasons that we're even here on YouTube is because we feel like we've been abandoned by everybody, and this is kind of like our last place of being able to share our lives and stuff. And in that sharing our lives, we end up risking our own emotional and mental health and safety, because there's lots of people that are so incredibly toxic. I remember when I first got on YouTube making videos in 2014, and I had started to transition, I was just inundated, and I had to almost stop my channel from the very beginning. And that's always been an issue for me with YouTube. So I do appreciate you just taking a new protocol and just getting rid of, instead of engaging with these clowns and crazy people, because there's lots of craziness on YouTube, and people that are hiding behind anonymity and little caricature icons and things like that. And it's just toxic, and I need you to help me, because I am not that strong as you are in that area, because I get really affected by it. And I know that many of you know that. I know and that's why you do it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like there are people, like, I've had a channel since 2006, and I have people that get somehow mesmerized, sucked into whatever it is with my life, and they literally have, like, made their presence known, and, have, I mean, there are people that literally would say, ask me anything about your life, tell me, because I know it all, and that kind of, to me, is rather creepy, you know. I mean, I watch YouTube channels, but I wouldn't sit there and tell somebody whose channel I watch, I know everything about your life. They become so invested and so to the point where they literally they had to, like, get involved in my life.
And even when I didn't really want to have your influence in my life, I was told by this one particular person, and they know who they are, that they were doing things to protect me. And it's like, I just don't see that being the case
No,
anymore.
they're just obsessed with me. They have to watch every single one of my videos. They had to, like, become involved in our lives because we becoming involved with you, because you and I are a married couple, and even though we've had our times of separation, we always come back together again.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's really crazy, totally crazy how certain people just, get so invested to the point that it's toxic.
Yeah. It is. It is, and that's one of the reasons why I just wanted off of YouTube, and I thought that it was something that we could do as a couple, is just to stay off of YouTube. But we just jones for being able to share our lives, because I don't know. I guess it's therapy for me. I don't know. But
Well, I've had a channel since 2006 when YouTube first opened up, and I've been doing this for the longest time, sharing my life, my story, advice, and things of that nature, because it's, I know a lot of people appreciate, the information, the cooking sessions, the just sharing, of all the different things. I mean, that's what YouTube is all about, it's sometimes better than watching regular television, because it's like reality TV taking place.
And that's the thing about my channel that I had started doing from the very beginning, was just being open and honest, and sometimes too honest about everything. And because I don't really have a regulator of what should not be on YouTube and what should be, and I get myself into trouble because I end up revealing too much personal information, and then it gets used against me.
Yeah, because there's a lot of bad people out in the world. You're naive that way, and that's why my job is to protect you. What you used to call controlling, and I think you know now that it's not.
I do. I know that it's important for me to have a stable, solid person like you in my life, because I just don't know how to get along in life without you. It's just, I find myself always tripping over myself, and I mean, look at the cupboard.
I know.
I had everything and anything in there, and we're cleaning it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to clean it up little by little, because it's overwhelming for me. I can't. When I see that, it affects my mental health. So that's why I have to organize. I have to put things in compartment. I have to do. That's how I function. If not, I would not be able to function. I'd be all over the place.
I don't want your video to be too long.
Okay, that's all right. It's all right.
Love you.
I love you too. So anyway, yeah, it's it's a matter of learning how to organize your brain so you could organize your life, so everything around you is organized and clutter free, because more is not better. Objects have energy because we are made up of energy, and energy could destroy you or it could heal you. When you are dead and your heart needs to have an electric shock, you have to put just the right amount of shock into your heart so it could start beating again. If you put too much, you could hurt the person. If you don't put enough, the heart won't get restarted. So everything in life has to be based on balance, and I believe that we are here to create that balance. So, if you're the type of person that is all over the place, you might want to find someone, a life coach, someone to be able to help you organize yourself so that you're able to organize your finances, your thinking, your surroundings. It's important. I'm really good at doing that. And that's the only reason I'm still alive. Because if I didn't do that, if I didn't have that little voice that I create in my head to guide me, to tell me, okay, this is too much, okay, this is not enough, I would be in a lot of trouble. I'm not saying that I'm the most well put person together in the world, because I'm not. I have a lot of issues, but because I am able to balance myself is how I'm able to function. All right, guys, this has gone on way too long already. I love you, but remember to always love yourselves too and each other.